Welcome to Inner Peace with Dr. Reese, a program that can help you become liberated in the modern world. Now, here's your host, Dr. Kevin W. Reese.
Show business. It can suck the life out of you. It's a monster. It can completely alter your life if you decide to get into this business. Welcome to episode number 32. For all the listeners that have been with me from the beginning, you may not know I used to be in show business. I was a radio personality on Hot 93.7 FM here in Hartford, Connecticut for 12 years. There's a lot of experiences that come along with that. Not just external, but internal. So I wanted to do an episode where I dive into the dynamic of show business. And in order to do that, I picked a special guest, my old coworker, Nancy Barrow, who, as far as I can remember, has been the morning show host at Hot 93.7. And even before that, she was on radio for many years. This is a veteran of show business. But you know, in my 16 years in show business, 12 of which I spent with Nancy, I found her to be a little different. You know, she has a segment called Namaste of the Day. And when I heard that, I was like, all right, she's the one to come on this podcast and talk on this topic. She's also a vegetarian. She owns a horse, and she experiments with meditation.
Yeah.
And I figured, who better to shed some light on this crazy little business? Because as you know, I left.
I felt like you were smart. Like your energy shifted and changed.
Completely shifted, yeah.
And it's I was just telling someone today, I'm like, my life is really loud. You got to find a way to quiet it, right?
Yeah.
So I meditate. And I've been toying with doing transcendental meditation.
TM.
Have you ever tried it?
I have a story about that.
Okay, because there's like a whole thing. You have to find someone.
I did the open house.
You did.
I was into it. I did my research. I saw that Jerry Seinfeld did it. I saw that other people did it.
Yeah, like Howard Stern does it.
I was on my way to go give them $1,000.
Right.
And my car broke down.
Oh, that was a message not to give them $1,000.
I came home.
Yeah.
And I did some more research, and I ended up finding my guru, and I never needed TM again.
So how did you find your guru?
I studied mad people, from Eckhart Tolle to Yogananda. I mean, I went through everyone, and then just one day, the right person just stood out to me.
Really?
Yeah, and I just rolled there, and the meditation just increased, and life got better.
I had to take classes to learn how to meditate.
Yeah.
And I went to this woman in Newington. Her name is Hetty. And she's an old Polish woman.
Yeah.
And she taught me how to quiet myself.
Yeah.
By moving. Like, so she would make us jump around and move our bodies, and you get really embarrassed in this group of people where you're like, you know, waving your arms and you're doing stuff.
Is it dynamic meditation?
No. So she's like, you have to shift your energy.
Yeah.
Before you can be quiet. So she makes us move, shift our energy.
I know what you're talking about.
And then you can meditate. But
my guru does the same thing. He calls it active meditation. So you work yourself up, and then you bring that heart rate way down. It's amazing, right?
It was amazing for me because like I was like, I look like an idiot in front of all this class. Like there was probably a class of like 8 women. And I was like, I feel uncomfortable like moving my body, shaking my arms.
And you're Nancy Barrow from the morning show, so
I make a fool of myself all the time. You know that. Like I have no shame in that. But I was like, it just was outside of my box.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was like my comfort zone wasn't there. Like, you know, I can be cool and whatever, but this was out of my comfort zone. But it got me into this deep, she would do guided meditations after that. And I'm telling you, Kev, like when I tell you, like I saw things, and like when you're in that deep meditative state, like I just can't explain it to anybody.
It's beautiful.
It's unbelievable.
It's beautiful.
It because like, you know, like you got out of the business. Our business is really hard.
It's crazy.
It'll kill you.
It will.
It will really kill you.
It will.
And so
And that's one of the things I want to talk about. You've been on the radio.
My whole life.
I worked with you for 12 years.
Yeah.
And I'm coming up on 10 years gone.
Yeah.
So you've been at Hot 93.7 for 25 years?
It'll be, so I've been there, it was 21 this last October, so it's 22.
Plus you were at another station.
Then I was in Buffalo for 5 years. I was in Albany for 5 years. And my first job was in Houston.
Yeah.
At a small AM station.
You've been on the radio your whole life.
Ever since
your whole adult life.
Yeah, I started in college.
So 18, 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on the radio in college.
And you're at the top from a local standpoint. You're on the top. Morning show is it.
Yeah.
That's the top.
Yep.
Even though you get up at 4 a.m.
4 a.m. every day. And it was so funny. So can I tell you a story about what happened to me today?
Yeah.
Somehow my phone, which is my alarm, I have 3 alarms. 2 are like, okay, you need to get up. And the third one is like, you best get up now. But there's some days where I just need that third one. So something happened with the setting in my phone last night. And I woke up. It said it was, 4:20. I got up, took my shower, put on my makeup, went downstairs to make my coffee and feed the dogs and walk the dogs. And I look at my clock and it said 2:30. So a setting in my phone changed. It was 2:30.
Oh my God.
And I went right back to bed and I fell sound asleep.
Yeah.
Which I think is a real testament to, again, quieting your mind, being able to really be in a relaxed state to be able to fall back asleep. Because a lot of people would have just stayed up. I just can't. I love sleep so much.
Yeah. And you're up every day so early.
So early.
And then on top of that, every now and again, you got to be up late.
Yep.
There's a concert. There's an event in New York.
You know how it is. You did.
Yeah. You hop down there and you want to network and be with the record labels.
Yep.
And then, so how do you manage your sleep after all these years?
I sleep on the weekends really late. No, and I don't know many people who do that. It's really funny. Like a lot of people, if they get up at 4, like they'll wake up at 7. I do not. I don't wake up until my dogs start barking and he's like, okay, listen, I really need to pee.
Yeah.
So I have been able to really shut it off. And I feel like that's what has saved me.
Yeah.
Otherwise I would have had to be out like you had been out. I can shut it off. And I have a horse. So
yeah. Lenny.
I had Lenny.
Shouts to Lenny.
10 years because he has been the quiet saving grace.
Yeah.
Where I go to Harwinton and I don't know what it is about horses. It's very grounding and I get dirty and I stink and I don't care. It's like the best feeling, but it's my real life woosah. It's like, it's my happy place.
Sure.
Radio and music, I love it. I really love it. It's probably forever ingrained in who I am. I remember sitting in my house when I was really young and I would play records and I would sit in there and I'd learn the words and I'd sing everything, like really young.
Yeah.
Really young. And so I love music. It's, it is what I've always wanted to do. I thought I'd be in a record company trying to find talent. That's what I really thought I'd do.
A&R.
Yeah, I really wanted to do that. I really thought that would be the coolest thing ever. So you find talent and you can like help them get really big.
Sure.
That would be great. But then the radio just happened in college. But I swear, if I didn't have Lenny, I don't know how I would do it. So
helping you with inner peace is your horse, your dogs,
oh my gosh,
and the meditation.
Yeah, because I've always loved animals. Like if I could be on Animal Planet, like that would be my favorite. Like, what I mean?
That'd be your fantasy hosting gig?
Yeah, that's my fantasy hosting gig. Like seriously, I feel like if I could ever do anything like leave radio, that would probably make me happy. But then you have to go to New York, and that's a whole other energy I can't deal with anymore.
That's the interesting thing about where we are in Hartford. We're 2 hours from New York City and 2 hours from Boston.
Yep.
We're in the thick of it, and there's not much excuses. It's like if something's going down in the city,
You got to go.
you got to go unless you just wave your white flag and say, I don't want to do it anymore, which is what I did at the end of my career.
I've waved my flag a few times.
Yeah.
Like I used to go with Buck all the time.
Yeah. And
I don't even know. We
people,
can't even.
People listening to this don't probably know who Buck is. It's a
yeah.
different demographic. But this man, at his age, is nonstop.
Nonstop.
He loves the music industry.
It's his soul. Like, it's what keeps him going. He's on a cruise in Jamaica with all the Marleys. It's a Marley cruise. So he's out there with like Skip Marley.
Wow.
He loves this stuff. He only gets 3 hours of sleep. I think maybe 4 would be a lot for him.
Yeah.
And I keep telling him, like, sleep will make you healthy. So you need to sleep because that heart attack thing.
Yeah, it's real.
You know, I'm getting
real.
a calcium test today because, like, I feel a lot of stress.
Right.
I feel stressed differently.
And our mutual friend and ex-coworker, Jason Ricketts, had emergency surgery.
Quintuple bypass or quadruple bypass?
Yeah.
He was, 39?
Yeah, at the time. Or maybe even,
Younger, he may have been.
I just remember I got a text message from him one day. And it said, I should have listened to you. I just woke up from emergency surgery.
He said that to you?
Yeah. I'm paraphrasing, but yeah. And I was like, Kevin. Whoa. I was like, you're in an emergent, like it's like he passed out and woke up.
And that's it.
And that's it. He had emergency heart surgery and didn't even know it.
How did you know when it had gotten too much for you? Like, when did you realize, like, this isn't a healthy lifestyle for me and not what I want in the long run?
Oh, I knew almost immediately.
Going into radio?
By the time I was like 25, I knew.
Like, really? Like, what happened? Like, what did you...
It just wasn't for me. It's not my lifestyle. It never was.
It's a hustle.
Never was.
It's
but
a grind.
I was lucky that I got hit with the whole Saturday night thing.
Yeah.
Because if I had to do 5 days a week, I wouldn't have lasted as long.
Yeah, you guys had a really good thing going. It was really funny.
Really good thing going, and I got to put all my energy in the 6 hours. 1 6-hour shift.
Yeah.
Which is a long shift in radio.
It's a long shift in radio. That's grueling.
And it would mess up my sleep.
Yeah.
Because it was, you get off the air at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
It messes your whole weekend up.
The whole thing.
But what you do is a grind.
I
did isn't
a
grind.
monster. I tell everybody, I'm like, it's not for everybody.
No.
So we've been through how many people in the morning
It's
show?
a cool job, though.
It's a great job.
Yeah.
For me, it's a great job because I'm a morning person, I think, but then I really like staying up late. I don't really know what I am because I think by force I'm a morning person. Like, I'm pretty happy when I get up. When I got up today at 2:30 and it was, I thought it was 4:30. Like, I was still in a good mood. I was like, I'm just a little bit tired, but okay, I can do this. It's just interesting.
But how do you handle the appearances? I did not like appearances.
You didn't?
I didn't.
Do you get anxiety?
No. I mean, I don't like being stared at.
Yeah.
And see, here's
and everybody's staring at you with a critical eye too.
Here's an interesting dynamic. It's different now because of the internet.
Oh.
When I started back in 2001, from like 2001 to 2008 or so.
Yeah.
Nobody knew what you looked like.
No, not really.
Unless
they went on the website and they saw pictures of it, because we had still pictures.
Right, but for the most part, you go out. I want to give the listeners a little picture here. You go out, you do an appearance at, say, a cell phone store, or you're in the club. Now, I was in the club a lot in my early days.
Yeah, you were.
That's how you make extra money. I felt like a stripper at some point. I'm just like, all right, I got to go to the club. So in order to get through it, I got to get drunk. And there's always free drinks.
Yeah, there's always free drinks.
And so you go to these appearances and people come up to you and go, oh my God, that's you? You don't look like what you sound like.
Right.
And it's like this whole like weird, uncomfortable insecurity type thing. It's it's me.
Yeah, it's really odd too, because people look at you differently. Like they really do judge you differently.
At a hip hop station.
And so and it's really funny. Like I never feel like I have to prove myself at all. Like, I grew up on MTV Raps. That was like my thing, and so I don't feel weird about it at all. But it's taken me a long time.
Yeah.
And there's times where it is weird. It is a weird vibe, but I do like meeting people who listen to us and then say, oh my gosh, I listen every day on my way to work. And I'm like, well, what do you do?
Yeah.
Because why are you listening to us? Like, what do you do? So I find it fascinating meeting people and finding out what they do and that they actually listen to us.
Yeah.
Like how I go to the barn.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's a diversion for them. Like if they don't like their job or their boss, like they listen to the radio, I kind of look at it differently. Like, oh, they listen to us just to get out of the reality of it all.
Yeah. So
it's interesting.
In a nutshell, radio is, it's under the umbrella of the music industry.
It is.
And the music industry is under the umbrella of the entire entertainment industry. Mm-hmm. So this is show business. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't make it out of this thing alive.
Oh, I mean, I was just talking about Heath Ledger the other day.
Yes.
I mean, they really don't.
People put such a pressure on themselves. And if they have trouble sleeping, they get on pills, or some people have to medicate through alcohol or whatever it is, whether they're an actor or they're on the radio or whatever it is. Even someone like David Letterman, I'm sure,
I know, right?
Put a lot of pressure on himself to come out there 5 days a week
and do a great monologue.
Right? But he does what you do times 5 on TV, or he did.
Yeah, on TV.
On TV.
Yeah.
With celebrities every day.
Yeah.
Right?
I can't. It's funny. I feel like
it takes something from you. It's gotta.
Oh, it does.
It takes something from you. Could you, right now, if finances weren't a problem in any way, mm-hmm. could you walk away right now and go be with Lenny in this barn house somewhere?
Money wasn't an issue?
No TV. Money wasn't an issue.
Oh, yeah, I'd leave.
Yeah.
If money wasn't an issue. It's interesting, too, because I'm single and I take care of my own house. And so, like, every bill is mine. Everything is mine. And you think differently as you get older, too, like, how long can I do this?
Yeah.
So I know there's a finite end to it, right? I do know that. But I do love Buck. Like, Buck and I have a great relationship. We probably worked together for probably 17 years now, and I enjoy him.
Yeah.
And he's definitely more laid back than I am. I'm pretty anal retentive.
He's very introvert, and that's why you run the board, I'm assuming.
That's what I'm very, you know what I mean? Like, I feel, but like I feel pressure.
For people listening, I just said something they probably don't understand. I said you run the board.
Yep.
That means you're flying the plane.
I say that a lot.
In radio.
And I say that a lot. I'm like, or I'm saying,
you're responsible.
I'm driving the bus.
Yeah.
And,
you're
so
hitting the buttons, and
right.
he and Buck's sitting to the side.
Yeah.
Relaxed.
And we have 2 other people who are with us. So, I ask people to like, hey, can you put that up on the website, or can you post something, or but it's a monster that I feel it's a monster, and it's like my addiction.
It's a monster.
It's a kind of an addiction.
Where do ratings fall into everything? When the ratings book come out, is it like D-Day?
What's really funny is
I didn't have to deal with ratings.
You don't back in the day we lived and died by them. Yeah. Like back in the day, like when I did rocks, when I did rock in Albany, we would send black roses to like our competitor who lost to us. Wow. Like our program director would send black roses to him. Like, so sorry about the book, because
oh my
no,
God.
It was like so brutal.
It's
Kev,
so
like,
competitive.
It was crazy. Now things have changed a little bit. Like we're fortunate. Like I have to say, Hot 937. Like the people who listened to us when they were in their 20s are still listening to us now. Yeah. Like our people have grown up with us. Yes. And so they still stay. So we have really, really pretty good rating. It's like we haven't changed much. Right. It's still
Hot 93. I always say when Hot 93.7 came to Hartford in 2001. Yep. It was like MTV landed in Hartford.
Yep.
it was the first time
Yep.
anything like this had ever come our
Yep.
way. And it
Yep.
was like, whoa. And then, of course, the hot name
I know.
everyone associates with Hot 97 in
Yeah,
New York.
in
So
New
they're like,
York.
what are you, like a sister station?
Yeah, they still say that. They still
say
think that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because I feel like the ratings, you can live or die by them, right?
Yeah.
So I prefer not to. I'm going to say, like, sometimes you're going to be good, sometimes you'll be less good.
Yeah.
But we've always maintained good,
Right.
which is amazing.
Right.
And because I feel it's a well-run station and people really like the music, and, like, you know, some of our program directors always said the music's the star.
Yes.
I always say the listeners are the star too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I feel like
putting them on the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to really know who's listening to you and know what their lifestyle is, and then you can talk to them.
Putting someone on the air is probably equivalent to somebody taking a selfie on Facebook.
It's true. Yeah, right.
It's giving somebody attention.
A little shine,
and
yeah.
make them feel good.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Like, we have Jingle Jam coming up. You know how that is.
Gosh, see, I used to not like concerts.
Really?
No. Going out on that stage, I'm not afraid of the crowd. It's just, it wasn't my audience. The people that listened to me on Saturday nights weren't at Jingle Jam. They were at Toad's place.
Yeah, you're right. They were underground. They were definitely underground.
Right. So they were like, all right, we want you and DJ Big Man to go out and say hello. And it's like, hi. And they're just like, who are these people? But, well, they know him.
I think that you sell yourself a little short, because you guys had a really popular show.
We had a popular show.
You had a really popular show. You worked at always having a really good topic.
We treated it like a morning show.
Yeah, you got to. And that's what it is. It's like, we always do topics at 7:45 and 8:15. You have to come up with some good topics.
Yeah.
You know?
You come up with the times, and it's pretty easy to lay it out.
Yep.
You know, just listen to a morning show anywhere in the country.
Yep.
And you'll see the format.
Yep.
Except we had more lane to go over the boundaries.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Because once 10 p.m. hits,
Yeah, you could.
you could go over the line.
And you guys did.
I did some bad things.
I thought they were good things, though.
I did some bad things.
I thought they were good things, though. But it's funny, your transformation has stuck with so many people at the radio station. And it's interesting that you talked about Jason, who had quadruple bypass.
Yeah.
Lucky to be alive. And he
Yes.
says that a lot,
Yes.
you know, because I feel like a lot of people looked to you like, why would you leave? How did you leave? And then you shifted to this beautiful holistic kind of life that.
And got a PhD.
Right.
And yeah, no, Big Man tells me not all the time, but you know, we talk every few months.
Yeah.
And you know, he mentions that. He's like, I didn't understand it. I thought you were an idiot for leaving.
But it's hard. It's a different
hard to
world.
walk away. You see that there's people.
We like people. We like each other. It's hard to leave that family,
when
kind of.
You just said the key word.
It's
like a
family.
little family. Even when I come back, it still feels
Oh my
like a
God.
family, you know, and it's got this element of sports where like you're on the same team with someone
Yeah.
and you're going through it. And we were in a war together.
Well, that's what I kind of feel like. We're an army. Like those army buddies, like those jarheads,
Yeah,
like
right.
we're all jarheads together. You know, it is a battle. You are trying to compete for every listener and rating point,
Yes.
because that is
And then-
money for the salespeople,
but
and
then-
then it gets money for you.
But then on top of it, this is the part people don't know. There's a friendly competition too amongst staff.
There is.
Everyone wants the next spot.
Yep.
Everyone's drooling over it.
Yep.
Everyone's like, when's Kid Fresh gonna leave? It's like,
When is Nancy going to get out of here? How come nobody ever leaves?
and
he's still Kid Fresh. Can you really call him Kid anymore?
shouts to Kid Fresh.
Yeah, shout out
Funny
to Kid
guy.
Fresh. He is a funny guy.
And so there's always this inner competition of, oh, this person did this segment.
Well, and even in our building, right? So there's 4 different stations.
Right, it's a cluster, yeah.
I feel like I look at every morning show as your competition. We're
Right.
competition. I never look at it in a mean sense of the word, but I'm always like, it's great. We all know that Light 100.5 is going to be a monster when Christmas music comes on. Like, you can't even compete with that. They're like number one in the country. It's like they're crazy. Like, it's amazing.
And the AM station with politics.
Yep. Whether you agree or disagree, it's, that is that. But I feel like, and then there's TIC FM and us, and I feel like I've always felt this way, and probably because that's the way I was taught, that every morning show is your competition, and always be, you're only as good as your last break. Yeah. It's a lot of pressure, dude.
It is a pressure job.
It's a pressure cooker job. People think it's so great and easy.
No.
But it's a really hard job.
Yeah.
Like you said, there's a lot of elements. There's like layers to it. Like
there's layers, yeah.
It's just the job. And then there's management. And then we used to be CBS Radio, and now we're Entercom. And then there's different dynamics with that.
Yeah,
and
a new company comes in, you don't know.
You have to sign
if they're
going
to get rid of you. You don't know.
Every 3 years, I'm like always saying, okay, so maybe this is going to be my last year.
Right.
I'm always like that, and it's kind of a hard way to live your job, live your life.
It is, and then if you wanted another job, you got to look in other areas.
Mm-hmm. I'm okay with that.
You have to be able to get up and leave.
Yeah, since I've worked all over the place. Like, Albany was my home, and then I went to Buffalo after my mom died, and then shout out to my mom, it's her birthday today.
Okay.
Yeah, in heaven. And then I went to after Buffalo, I came here, but I was in Houston too. So I mean, I feel like I've gone places, so it doesn't scare me to go other places. And I know that's probably what I'm gonna do. Like, I would love to retire in radio, wherever that's going to be, which is weird because I feel like maybe it is a toxic thing. It can be very toxic.
Oh, I look at two of our old co-workers, Kendra G and Tasha Makia.
Yes.
Both of them went from market from state to state to state to state, moving around.
Yeah.
At one time, Kendra was in LA doing television and radio.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sacrifice to this if somebody wants to get to the quote unquote top.
Yep.
Right. And a lot of people are shooting to be the next Ryan Seacrest. Next Nick Cannon, the next Howard Stern.
Because it's money. That's I wonder if that's like
or in prestige.
All of it is power, right? All of it. Any of that.
Anytime you're a radio personality and you go to the club and they don't let you in right away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Your ego's poked a little bit.
Isn't it funny?
What are you talking about?
I don't ever say that. I'm always like, then I just go at the phone. I'm like, oh, I got to call Buck. Okay. So then I get, that's what I do.
Because Buck's got the pass to everything.
Yeah. So I don't ever have to I never feel like I have to be like, don't you know who I am kind of girl. Because I just think that's such a rude way to approach things. And it's like, I'm blessed that I can do this. Like, I'm really blessed.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's the best full-time, part-time job.
You get to have fun.
I get to have fun. There's sacrifices.
It's high pressure, but it's fun.
Like you said. It's early morning. You gotta. Not everybody's built for it. Not everybody is built for it.
The biggest question I always get asked is, "Do you miss it?" My answer is no, but there's a but. I miss the laughing.
Oh wow!
I really do. Like, we would get in there on a Saturday
and laugh,
night,
right?
We would have such a good time, whether it's making fun of each other.
Right.
It doesn't even have to be on air stuff.
No.
It's behind the air stuff.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And I'm sure you have the same thing.
The same thing. And there's different people, different dynamics, different stuff.
I've never laughed so hard in my life.
And it was really funny that you say that. So it's funny what I do in my off time, right? So, I probably will get roasted for this, but I have Sirius Radio in my car. So I listen to Howard Stern and I listen to Joel Osteen because he's like, I love him. He's got me through some hard times, but he's very inspirational. And the funny thing is today's message on the way to work at 5 o'clock in the morning was laughing is really important.
Yes, it's medicine.
It makes you healthy. Yes, it keeps you healthier.
Yes.
But laughing, that's what I feel is like I would miss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I agree with you. That's the hard part. It's like there's a camaraderie.
Yeah, there's a camaraderie. Again, you feel like you're on a sports team.
And you're in the studio and it's sort of like you're not in reality because you're in the studio with like 4 other people for me in the morning. And you don't really have anybody else coming in.
Yeah.
So we're just BSing our way through the morning, and we just have such a good time.
Yeah.
And I really, it's funny that you get paid for it.
Yeah.
It's funny that you get paid for it.
And then other times it's not as fun. Sometimes you just have to introduce a song.
Yeah, you do. Right.
And it's like Hot 93.7 coming up now is, Drake.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it. There's not much to it.
My first program director, Victor Starr.
One thought per break.
He used to say that's the best talk break. He said, "You want to do a good talk break, kid?" This is back when I was like 21.
That's great.
He would be like, "Say Hot 93.7 and say the name of the song. And you're done." I'm like, "But I want to make people laugh."
Yeah, right? It's funny. It's funny what you take away from people, because he always said to us, one thought per break.
Yeah.
I still think that way. It's really funny. Like, I still
Yeah.
think, like, don't get yourself into too many topics in one break. Like, just really focus on one thing.
He was
Drive the
tough,
bus.
but he was good. He was good.
He was good, and he's out with Tasha McKee right now.
Right. Denver, Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny how all that seems to
It's
go.
a small fraternity, if you will.
It is. And I think once
And
you
he's
get
another example, Victor Starr. He went from state to state.
He
to
sure
state.
did.
Yeah.
A lot of that too, it's like your personal life can really suffer. Like, I've had people that I've lived with and people that I've been involved with, but it's always radio first. Like, what are you going to do? Like, radio comes, like, that's
Right.
And it's hard. Like, you got to make choices in life. And like you said, sometimes I wave the white flag and I'm like, I can't go to New York.
Yeah.
I just can't do it.
Yeah.
We have this Jingle Jam coming up, and Jenny will be out there broadcasting live at 2:00. You're expected to go out there and support her.
Yeah.
It's a long day.
And you're going to have to get on stage.
We're going to be
in
on
front
stage.
of 5,000 or however many people.
It's not my favorite thing either.
Yeah.
It's just because I remember in high school, I would beg my teachers, please, I'll do 3 written reports. Just don't make me get up in front of the class and do an oral report.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. But it's funny, like, I've gotten over it. But like you, it's not my favorite thing.
No. But the thing that I really didn't like about it was just the waiting around.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of
It's
that.
like, all right, let me just go on now and get it over with. Yeah, it's like
so that I can like go and relax.
But then there's the whole aspect of the celebrities and this, that, and the other, and they're trying to get over too because it's their job. A lot of them are doing it for free.
Yeah,
because
you're
it's
right.
for the station. And I saw the list of this year's Jingle Jam.
Yeah.
I didn't know anybody. I'm so out.
You don't know Lizzo? She's Time Magazine's Entertainer of the Year.
Wow.
Like, it's crazy. In a year, what has happened to that?
Yeah, some people just come flying up fast.
It's crazy.
Look what happened with Drake.
I'll never forget. We were at Toad's Place for that first show.
Yes.
That first show was the most amazing show I've ever seen.
Yeah, and now that's a great example of my hustle.
Mm-hmm.
I had to hustle for interviews.
Yeah.
You got Buck.
Yeah, I know. You're right about that. But I remember always seeing you and Big Man.
Yeah.
Like Nicki Minaj, you did an interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, like.
But we had to hustle for them.
Yeah.
But
I think Buck was always like, yeah, okay, yes.
Because he saw the hustle. He had no choice.
Yeah.
I ended up in his office a few times.
Oh,
He's like,
did
you're
you?
stepping on people's toes.
Oh, did he really?
Oh, yeah. The full-timers got to be first.
Wow, dude. Wow.
Now, this type of thing might be accepted in New York.
Right.
But
right.
in Little Hartford, it's almost like it's like we're dealing with adult kids, and everyone has to get their turn.
Oh yeah.
There was when 50 Cent came to the station one time.
Oh yeah.
Nelson, who was with him at the time.
Yeah.
Nelson from the record label.
Yes.
He requested because On Air Idiots was buzzing on the blocks.
Oh, that's so good.
And he comes up to Big Man. He had a relationship with Big Man. He's like, we want to interview with you guys. So they were live with you and Buck.
Oh, in the morning. Yeah. 50 was always on time.
All the other personalities are waiting for their interview.
And they went right to you.
They skipped and went right to me and Big Man. Of course, 50 Cent doesn't know. He's just like, all right, next interview.
Yeah, next interview, yeah.
We come into a room. It's only supposed to be 10 minutes. Buck is like, all right, 10 minutes. The interview was so good, 50 wanted to keep going. What do you do? You say 50, you have to go to the next thing. He's loving it.
Yeah.
And he's throwing CDs against the wall and this, that, and the other. And the interview went like 25 minutes.
Oh, that's great.
And somebody's over in the corner like, wrap up,
Yeah.
He's got to do more interviews.
Yeah.
So then Now, this is where the hustle comes in. I live in Farmington at the time, 5 minutes away.
Right.
I know how to video edit. So that's an advantage I had over everyone else.
Yeah, that's a big one.
I went home. It took me 30 minutes to edit it. Boom. It's on WorldStar.
Oh, it's so great.
It's on Vlad. It's everywhere. This is 2008 or whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's everywhere.
Like you're so trending.
I get a phone call from Buck.
Oh, no.
What are you doing? It's not even on hot937.com.
Oh.
And you're on WorldStar.
Oh, my God. That's the greatest.
He's like, you can't do that.
Yeah, you can't.
I'm like, but why? I didn't do anything wrong.
No. And you were doing what you thought you needed to do.
They were
That's
barely,
the hustle,
they were
man.
barely off your interview. Like by the time it's on WorldStar, he's interviewing with Jenny or Fresh or whoever. And
that's great though, man.
And then we just, and Big Man tells that story all the time.
Yeah, it's great.
Because Big Man end up in Buck's office all the time because I wasn't there.
Right.
So he took the hits all the time. It's like, what the hell are you guys doing?
Kevin, you're so funny.
So this is just an example for folks listening of what entertainment is like.
It's really toxic.
It's people.
Like,
it's competition.
Oh my gosh, because you have to get it on first, and if you get on WorldStar, then everyone's gonna be like,
yes.
why did he get on?
Right.
What is he saying to 50?
Right.
Yeah, like I used to make them cookies and stuff. Like we always used to do like stupid stuff. But like, we all went to his parties.
I was left out of the first one.
You were not.
Yeah, I had to be on air for Kid
I
Fresh.
lied getting in. I lied getting into his house, his party. So,
how do you lie getting into 50 Cent's house?
So we went there, but for some reason I was like, I'm on the list. And I said, Nancy. And then he said, I don't see it here. And then I was like, oh, that's me right there. And he's like, oh, okay, go ahead. It was like Linda something else, a completely different name. Linda Waldheimer. And I was like, that's me. So when Linda decided to come to that party, me and she was gonna be mad because her name was already crossed off. I don't know if they let her in, but thank you, Linda, because you let me in. But yeah, I had to lie because for some reason I wasn't on the guest list or something. It was really funny.
50 Cent Mansion parties was the cream
Notorious.
of the crop.
It was the notorious
For a good 3 years.
Oh my God.
It was everything in our business.
So did you go to the pool party one?
I went to all of them except for the first one.
Okay.
I had to be on air for Kid Fresh. Oh. So they threw me on air, and I'm sitting there
Is
watching.
that when we all got bussed in, or when we all?
That's when you all got bussed in. That was the big one. I missed the big one.
You missed the big
but
one.
I was there for the pool party, which is the Mobb Deep video.
I think the pool party was probably the coolest. I don't know if you missed.
It was the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
It was the Super Bowl,
and then
there
wasn't
were
that where?
strippers everywhere.
And wasn't there like lobster on the grill? Like I think I just sat by the food and the bar.
And there was tattoos. You could stop and get a tattoo.
That's right. Who was getting a tattoo?
KG got a tattoo.
KG got a tattoo. And I remember someone else
Drunk,
was Mobb
too.
Deep getting one.
Mobb Deep, I don't know, man.
Somebody else was getting one. Somebody famous. It may
We're
have
giving
been.
some visuals to the listeners out here.
It was so funny.
It was, that was the cream of the crop for our business. And it was 5 minutes down the road.
Yeah.
And so we were fortunate in that way. But just another example of how competitive it is and how you can easily feel left out, and you can't be an introvert. You got to speak up. And I didn't have great.
And the crazier now,
Kevin, it's crazier now.
Because now there's like, okay, now we have
Social
IG and we have all social media, which I think I really feel like it's such a bad thing. I mean, it's a good thing for the radio station.
Somebody could blow up on social media.
Oh, yeah. Like we interviewed Tekashi 6ix9ine in the water in a pool, and like people are calling Buck about it now because he's locked up. And
yeah, Tekashi is. Yeah.
And I don't care about blowing up with that because, I that's not like why I got into it. I got into it because I love it. I love the music and I like laughing.
Yeah, laughing.
Like I feel like laughing is really,
it's the key to it all.
I feel like it's an addiction.
Yeah.
Because like, where else are you going to do that? Are you going to do that if you work at the Hartford? Maybe, but and shout out to the Hartford. I mean, I don't know what it's like, but my dad owned an insurance company. That's why I say that. And my dad was a serious cat, smart, funny. Like when he was partying, he was a funny guy. But I feel like radio's fun,
Yeah.
but it can eat you up and spit you out.
It can eat you up and spit you out. And that's a good segue to what I want to talk about next as we wrap this up, because I know you got to go. What do you say to someone that wants to get into it? A 16-year-old comes to you and says, hey, I want to do this. I want to be on the radio.
I'm like, why do you want to be on the radio? If you think it's for money, don't.
No.
My first job, I was so broke. My mom had to send me clothes and food. I think I made $10,000 maybe. And I was living in Houston, which was good because the oil boom, so it was cheap living. But I was broke.
Yeah.
I had to move home. I lived with my parents for a long time because, radio, you don't make money.
No.
And
Until you get into a morning show.
Until you... And then you have to get an agent, which I did. Because as a female, I felt I was always a little bit beneath the guys because it's still a men's club.
Yeah.
So I got a male agent, and I was like, he'll get me money.
That's smart. That's smart.
It was smart, but it's a grind, man. It'll chew you up and spit you out.
Yeah.
It
And when
really
you're a
is.
part-timer without a contract, they can cut you off so fast.
Now contracts are different too with this new company, and new companies are different. And
Yeah?
yeah.
Was there like clauses where...
Oh yeah, they could change you anywhere. It's like really odd. There's no relaxing with
Could they
anything.
hit you up and just be like, we want to relocate you to Houston?
Yep.
Wow.
For afternoons. Like, it's different. Like, it's different than what it used to be. It's
Wow.
different than what it used to be. And that's why I'm like thankful every day. That's what I think I get away from this. And this is sort of what I say is like, I really go into work pretty blessed. I feel very blessed.
Yeah.
And I know it's not going to last forever. And maybe I'll have to go to Nashville or somewhere else or something and do another radio gig if I can.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. Like, I give you so much credit being able to get out of it.
Thanks.
I don't think I can. I think it's wrapped up in my DNA now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like it's what I do. It's not who I am, but it's what I do.
Yeah.
And unless, Animal Planet's hiring,
So to the little 16-year-old that's
it's
thinking about
hard.
radio,
I would say, what are you in it for?
Yeah.
If it's money,
it's going to be a long time.
it's going to be a long time
money.
before you see any. A
Yeah.
long,
Yeah.
long time. And I hope you like your
Yeah.
parents because you're going to live with them for a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah.
And then I would say, how badly do you want it?
And
Like,
then,
what can you sacrifice that you love in your life now that you're going to have to give up?
yeah. And the other thing is, how do you deal with your own heightened ego?
That's a big point.
You get on the
too.
radio and you become quote unquote somebody. Like, I remember my first 2 months on the radio, I got so many calls from people I went to high school with.
Oh, yeah, because
or
you're from
college
here.
with.
Yeah, right.
And it was like, oh my gosh, I remember you in high school. Or, oh, I remember your college radio show. I thought you were stupid for going to that dang thing. But look at you now. And you have to deal with constant compliments.
It's weird too, and hate, and especially
hate.
social media now is
Yeah.
really big for that.
There's
And I'll block people if they're really mean.
Yeah.
For no reason. I'll block them because it's just, for me, it's hurtful. Like, I'm sensitive about it, which is funny in this
Yeah.
business that you can be still sensitive.
Yeah, you're on a stage, essentially.
Right. So I feel like it's interesting that you bring up the ego. I feel like that's it. It can protect you, and yet it makes you feel like, oh, I need to be,
Yeah.
I don't know. The ego thing is hard.
Yeah.
Everybody has one because it kind of either can protect you or drive you.
Yeah. And when those compliments come in, it can make you feel like, you're something.
Big.
Something
You're
that
big
not.
something, right?
Right.
And I feel like when you lose a job, like I've lost a radio job. My mother passed away, and then I lost a job. So it was like, and then I had to move away to go to Buffalo to get a job. And so that was a big blow to my ego, and I feel that made me appreciate it a lot more. I think when you get fired and it humbles you a little bit, your ego sort of dies a little bit.
Yeah.
So then it doesn't hurt so much. Now if I lost my job, I'd be like, okay. I'd be like, oh, it sucks.
But you put your time in. You've lived your dream.
I have. I really have.
I feel that, but you say, I can't, you give me credit for leaving, but I felt the same way. I felt like I did it. But what was more to do?
Because you're from here, so that's a big thing. That's
People
big.
still remember me.
Of course.
So it doesn't go away.
You were a big presence in there, and I don't know if you realize, like, you just had a very big personality. and you still do.
Mm-hmm.
It's clear, like, you still really do have a big personality.
It's relaxed now, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, how did you transition into that? How did you transition from the ego of radio to
spirituality? That's it.
So was there a click for you? Like, what made you say, I can walk away and be okay?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I met the blue antelope. Well, the blue antelope, I talked about that story on episode 20 of this podcast. And that, I went to an ashram in New York, and I met a mystic.
Oh, it's so cool.
I met a man that not everyone gets to meet.
Yeah.
And he wasn't normal.
Yeah.
He wasn't like us.
Yeah.
There's no ego there. And
how is that? Like, I find that
I
interesting.
met him in July of 2012, and I was gone by December 2012.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing. Like,
And I was already going to health school too.
yeah, you really were. You had lost so much weight. You had stopped smoking.
I was making the transition, but when I met the blue antelope, that's what I call him.
Yeah.
That's when everything changed, because it was like, instead of wanting to be like Howard Stern or Jay-Z, it was like, wow, here's a man who's got nothing. He's a wanderer. He's a wandering mystic, and he's transcended society. He's transcended language. He's transcended his emotions. He's transcended everything. Nothing can shake him, and he's happy, and he's compassionate.
So
I want to be like that. I don't
crazy.
want to be like
what you wanted.
Howard Stern.
Yeah.
So my view just changed, and then I just went down the beaten path. That's all.
It's really interesting.
And here we are, Inner Peace with Dr. Reese.
I know, but I feel like that's such a beautiful transition, though.
Yeah.
Because, like, I say to people, like, gosh, I have a really loud life, and you got to find that quiet.
Quiet, you have to.
You can't, and I just feel like
I was amazed by him. He would meditate 4 hours every morning. I'm like, with the sun coming up. I'm like, so he's getting up like you're getting up for the morning show. But his morning show is meditation.
Wow.
And I'm just like, who are you? And
So
where
do you meditate
exist?
in the morning or at night?
Both.
You do. I find my most effective. It's interesting because I ride to work in quiet. It's very interesting. Or I'll listen to Joel Osteen.
Audio is very important.
Yeah.
It was a big for me.
Yeah.
Very, very big.
So either it's nothing or Joel, and then I don't know. I find my best meditation is at night.
Yeah. You'd be surprised. And the nighttime is very tempting because the sun goes down. Now we want our comfort foods.
Yep.
And now we want our comfort television. And so breaking those habits are huge.
They're huge.
I always aim for 90 minutes meditation in the morning and 90 minutes meditation at night. So 3 hours a day.
Wow, that's pretty good. I only get to probably an hour, and that's not every night.
Yeah.
I sleep soundly, though. What's one of the things that I really...
Well, you're up early. So.
I know. But it's funny because a lot of people can't go to sleep. They can't tune it out. And I feel like going and taking classes with meditation and finding out how to quiet myself, because I just felt like I had to move all the time.
Isn't that feeling when the consciousness starts fading away as you're falling asleep? Isn't it just a beautiful feeling?
It's the most beautiful thing. It is the most beautiful thing.
Well, my guru says that's death.
In
a good way.
I can see that.
He's saying if you can start getting comfortable with falling asleep, then you're going to be comfortable with dying.
Of course.
Because that's what it's going to be like. You're just going to fade out and boom.
And you hope it's that nice, right? I hope it's that nice. I do.
That's what it's going to be unless it's an immediate
yes, right.
like impact of some sort, like an accident.
Or like Denise DeCenzo. She died in her sleep, but it was a massive heart attack.
Massive heart attack. And we don't know if she went through a minute or two of suffering.
We don't know.
Or it was instant. She's a great example of somebody like yourself who's made a mark as a broadcaster in this county. And
she's
they're all
older, but she's amazing. She's amazing.
They're celebrating her.
Oh, she was, no one can say anything bad about her.
Yeah.
Like there's nobody that has met her, Denise, could say a bad thing about her. You know, you hope that in your life that you kind of can leave some kind of legacy like that, right? You hope that you can make a difference with people and they'd be like, she was really great. She did great things. And that's what you really hope. Not just that you made good radio.
She's definitely being celebrated locally.
Holy cow, is she? And she got celebrated nationally by Gayle King.
Yeah. But here's the thing. There's a paradox to it. That the world moves on, no matter who dies. That's a really humbling concept that we all need to understand.
It's true.
They can celebrate you all. You could be, Jay-Z. You could be
Lady Di.
You could be Beyonce. You could be some of the biggest celebrities in the world. That celebration is going to end.
It is.
And unless you reach, it's the world's going to go on.
It's going to go on.
It goes on no matter how famous you are.
And I say that
even
too.
somebody like Michael Jackson, who's
and Whitney,
as at the top as you can get as far as fame.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley.
It killed him. The entertainment business killed them. I mean, we know that.
He was at such a high level.
But how do you cope?
He became a recluse.
Your coping skills, like, you went into something that was so healthy, though. Like, really, like, you became so educated. And I just feel like it was, I feel like it's sad. These people don't have people around them who could celebrate. Yeah, get yourself healthy.
Yeah.
Get yourself clean and sober.
The young rapper just died. Got off a plane.
Oh my gosh!
I forgot. I don't know who he
Juice
is.
WRLD.
Juice WRLD. Okay.
He was at the station. I really
21
liked him.
years old.
21 years old, and he was doing Percocet, and because Future was singing about that. So he said when he was 14 years old, he tried Percocet because of Future's song. And you don't think that there's a lot of influence in music, but there sure is.
And so, do you think the plane, being on the plane, must have moved something around in him, and he got off and had a
he had a
stroke?
well-known habit.
Okay.
Popping pills. And you look at that, he just turned 21. He was 20, really, like 5 days ago before he died.
So you got him as an example. You got Tekashi 6ix9ine as an example, who got into gang life and ended up in jail.
Look at 50. He got shot 9 times.
This fame thing is,
it's a monster.
It's a monster.
It's a monster. It's absolute. Like, I don't.
Be careful what you wish for.
It's so true. It's really true. Like, you know me. Like, I've had 2 hip replacements and a knee replacement. And granted, that was not from radio, but it was, that I did marathons and I skied since I was 4 and horseback riding and running and whatever. But, it
wasn't from the talk breaks.
It wasn't from the talk breaks, but I had a kidney stone operation in February.
Ooh, that hurts.
Yeah, and I feel like that's stress related.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of
what's more stress related than having bad health, than something happening to your body?
Oh, there's nothing worse.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, listen, jobs will come and go. Friends will come and go.
Finances.
Boyfriends will come and go. Finances, you might lose it. You might gain it.
Yeah.
When
you got to go in for a surgery or
anything else, I had to get a will together. Like, that's pretty humbling in itself. Like, oh, shoot, I might not come out of this. Like, they make you do a will when you get a knee replacement in New York. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they do. And so you had to think about life like that.
Wow.
And
you got to think about your mortality.
Yeah, and I'm an organ donor, and I'm like, well, if I go, someone's going to hopefully
Nancy,
be able to use my parts.
This is why I've taken this path, because there's nothing bigger than your own death.
There isn't.
There's nothing.
There isn't.
It's the biggest event of your life. It makes marriage look like a puppy. Your death is the biggest event of your life. And if you don't prepare,
I don't think people think about that. I do.
You have to prepare for it.
And probably because I've seen both my parents pass. So I know what that is. And my mom passed very young. She was 59 and had breast cancer, but she was 47 diagnosed. So, and my dad passed from lung cancer. He smoked until he was 50, but he had a 35-year reprieve, so he was pretty lucky. But I feel like when you look at people and you're with them when they die, that you're right. There's nothing. That's it.
It's nothing bigger.
There's nothing bigger. This is going to be the end of it.
And there's an opportunity there. There's a small window of opportunity. If you die in fear, you miss the opportunity. If you die dancing and celebrating and like, all right, let's do this.
Yeah.
This is what's happened with Socrates. They poisoned him because the government didn't like him. They poisoned him, and he was losing feeling in his legs. And he was coming up, and his disciples were around him, and they're like, "Oh, master, what?" And he's just like, "No, this is great." He's like, "I can't wait to know what this is going to be like."
Where do we go? What is it?
Think about it like a little window. You got to catch it. If you go in fear, you're going to miss it.
Right.
You're going to miss it. So that's why people take the spiritual path. I
think that's always been, and I feel like that, it's funny to have like one toe in and one toe out, because I'm in the industry, and it'll suck the life out of you if you're not smart, and that's why I've gotten a balance. Like the last 10 years of my life, I got a balance. Like I got Lenny, and I have my dogs, and I have family that I really like, and I'm vegetarian, and I feel like that's a kinder way to live. And I think you have to be authentic, right?
And you got Buck.
Right? I have Buck. He can eat all the meat he wants.
He gets you in any party, any concert, anything. He's the key master.
He's the key master. So I kind of do have the key master in my hand, but I feel like I'm spiritually like 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Like it's interesting.
It's hard to go all the way when you're in entertainment.
It's really, it's a drug. Like, I hate to say that, but it is, it's very alluring. And so for that 16-year-old, like you said, what do you say to them? It's a beast, man.
It's a drug.
It's a really big beast, and you better be ready to slay it.
Don't lose yourself in this business.
And you can. That's one of the things too that was really interesting. When I had my knee replaced, I had to be off the air for 4 weeks. It's like unheard of, really. But
how did it feel?
Oh man, it was nice not getting up at 4 a.m.
Did you feel like your job was threatened?
I don't look at it that way. I feel I've been always pretty good that way. I'm like, if I go away and they say I'm not that great, well, then I'm not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
I'm really not. I'm really not supposed to be there. It's cool. Like if it ends up that way.
Networking is a big part of this business.
It sure is.
It's something that I was never good at.
I'm not good at it either. At all.
I got by because I had Big Man.
Yep. I'm not good at it.
Perhaps you get by because you have Buck.
I get by for Buck because I don't feel, it feels dirty to me. It feels, it's always felt dirty to me, like just to get to know someone for what they can do for me. And
it's fake.
Yeah, dude, I'm
really
not good
fake.
at it.
And
I've never been good at that.
I came face to face with that when I left radio. The record label stopped calling.
Yeah.
And then, here's the funny thing. A year, 2-3 years later, you might get a call from a record label representative. Hey, Kate Duff. Hey, how you doing, man? You got to play this record. Man, I've been off the air for 4 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Where you been?
Yeah, what is that? That's crazy.
Because they don't care.
They don't care.
They're not paying attention to you. Mm-hmm. It's just, what can you do for me and what can I do back for you?
Yeah.
It's this really weird dynamic. It's a fake business.
Yeah, I feel exactly like you. Like it's just, it never felt genuine for me to like network so I could get into a party. Like that just was not who I am.
Except for the 50 Cent mansion
yeah,
parties.
Hell yeah, right. I'll lie.
Those were the ones that we wanted to get into.
Yeah.
I think 50 Cent needs a repent.
Yeah,
it was debauchery there.
He was.
That was the Hugh Hefner, East Coast Hugh Hefner type Playboy mansion.
I've never been a big networker. I like going to the parties, but like, what's it really going to do for me? Like not that what it's going to do for me, but like, is that going to make you happy? That's a really empty happiness if that makes you happy.
Yeah, and then it becomes a drug. You got to keep going and get it.
And now the younger kids coming in, they're all addicted to social media, and it's you're only as big as how many views you get.
Yeah.
It's really funny to see how
it's ratings.
It's ratings.
Like we were just talking about
dude,
ratings.
if you go viral, it's like crazy. They're so happy.
Yeah. Now I remember when I put out an interview and if it got picked up by a blog, how many hits did it get? And this, that, and the other. And now you don't even need celebrities. It's about your abs or your new dress or, we're in a different...
Your waist trainer.
We're in a different society than we were 15 years ago.
I don't think it's better.
No, I mean, social media is a gift and it's a curse.
Oh, it's a curse. I tell you, I think it's, yeah,
It's a magnifying glass for the ego.
it is.
It
Yeah,
really is.
that's a good way to put it. It is.
It really is. And
crazy.
again, entertainment and social media in general, it sort of ropes and tricks people into thinking there's something that they're not.
You're right.
Like, we're different on the outside. We have
Yeah.
different personalities. We have different skin color, different eye color. But we're all made of the same stuff. We're the same.
It's interesting though, because like a lot of people fall into that trap, right? Of the Kim Kardashians. How many likes do I have? How many followers do I have? You know, and for you to say, I follow this guy, the blue antelope or whatever he was.
Yeah.
You know, for someone to not have anything. And that was what you thought was the best thing in the planet.
He
You know,
had a
I feel like
bag.
that's
He had a bag.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's
I
it,
mean,
man.
Wealth is
Peace.
yeah.
There's nothing like it.
Nope.
There's nothing like
I
it.
can't tell you how much I love sleeping.
When somebody can insult you or embarrass you and you're not insulted or embarrassed, that's peace.
That is peace.
That's
That is peace.
That's when you're unshakable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to work on that.
Yeah. Yeah, we all do. We
Yeah.
all do. And I hope the podcast is helping. And I appreciate your time. I know you got to go.
course.
And
You're always so great.
Welcome to the Bridge Healing
Let
Arts
me
Center.
tell you what, this is amazing.
It's a nice place, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to have to come here and chill with you again.
Yes.
Yeah,
We have
anytime
a
you need-
healthy happy hour coming up in January.
I will be here.
January 16th.
I will be here.
Right here in the kitchen.
I will be here at the kitchen. Yeah.
Free
this is ama-
food.
and
Yeah.
God bless you for doing what you're doing, dude.
Thank you.
I really appreciate that you even thought of me, but I admire what you're doing.
Thank you. So you can check out Nancy at hot937.com.
On my social media, I'm at Radio Chick One. That's the easiest way to find me.
Radio Chick One.
Radio Chick One.
And if you're looking for me and my work, go to drreese.com. That's doctor spelled out. And I'll talk to you on the next episode.
Thanks for listening to Inner Peace with Dr. Reese. If this episode opened your heart, feel free to share on social media and tell your loved ones. Also, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Until next time, may peace be with you.